Welcome to Honoring Greatness. I'm Christopher. This channel is a place to remember exceptional people whose lives, achievements, and influence continue to resonate far beyond their time. Their artistry, vision, and dedication touched hearts across the world. Join us as we reflect on their legacy through stories from film, music, culture, and unforgettable moments that still inspire today. Willie Colon was born in 1950 in New York's South Bronx, where the rhythms of Caribbean culture shaped his earliest sense of identity and expression. Music became more than a passion for him. It was a way to reflect the world around him. He found his signature voice through the trombone, an instrument whose bold and gritty sound matched the energy of his upbringing. As he developed as an artist, he helped shape the rise of salsa during its golden era through his work with Fania Records, collaborating with influential figures like Hector Lavoe and Ruben Blades. Together, they created songs that went beyond dance floors, telling real stories about love, struggle, and pride in Latino communities. Albums like Siembra and tracks such as El Malo became cultural touchstones. Beyond music, Colon was also known for speaking about social realities, using his platform to reflect lived experiences. His influence continues to echo across generations, keeping his sound and spirit alive. Monte Coleman was born on November 4, 1957, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where his early years were shaped by discipline, hard work, and a strong love for sports. At Pine Bluff High School, he stood out less for flashy moments and more for his steady effort, reliability, and focus on improving every time he stepped on the field. That quiet determination helped set the foundation for everything that followed in his football journey. College to NFL career. He continued playing at the University of Central Arkansas, where his intelligence and tackling ability drew attention despite not being from a major program. In 1979, he was drafted into the NFL and went on to spend his entire professional career with the Washington Commanders. Known for consistency, toughness, and football awareness, he became a trusted presence on the field for 16 seasons. Legacy. After retiring, Coleman returned to the game as a coach and mentor, helping young athletes grow in skill and character. He is remembered for humility, leadership, and a lifelong commitment to football, leaving behind a legacy built on respect and quiet excellence. Loretta Swit became widely known for her iconic portrayal of Major Margaret "Hot Lips" Houlihan on MASH, a role she played from 1972 to 1983. Through this character, she helped transform what began as a stereotype into a fully developed figure marked by intelligence, emotional depth, and resilience. Her performance earned her critical acclaim, including multiple Emmy Awards and nominations, and helped shape the show's lasting cultural impact. Swit's ability to balance strength with vulnerability made her one of the most memorable performers of the series. Stage work and advocacy beyond television, Swit demonstrated versatility with appearances in projects such as The Pilot for Cagney and Lacey, and performances in productions like the film Same Time, Next Year, where she showed her range in more intimate storytelling formats. She also dedicated significant energy to animal welfare advocacy, using her public platform to support humane causes and raise awareness. As of today, Loretta Swit is alive, and her legacy continues through both her influential performances and her long-standing commitment to compassion and advocacy. Gene Hackman, born on January 30, 1930, is widely regarded as one of the most accomplished and versatile actors in American film history. Over a career spanning decades, he became known for performances that felt grounded, authentic, and deeply human. Whether playing law enforcement officers, morally complex characters, or quiet everyday figures, he brought a natural intensity that made his roles unforgettable. His breakthrough came with The French Connection, a performance that earned him an Academy Award and established him as a major Hollywood talent. He later showcased his range in films like The Conversation, where he delivered a restrained and haunting portrayal, and Unforgiven, which earned him another Oscar and further cemented his legacy. Across more than 80 films, Hackman received numerous honors, including 2 Academy Awards and multiple Golden Globes, reflecting both his talent and consistency. In 2004, he retired from acting and chose a quieter life away from the spotlight. At the age of 95, Gene Hackman's legacy continues through a body of work that remains powerful, influential, and timeless in its impact on cinema. Diane Langton, born May 31, 1944, built a long and respected career across television, theater, and music, earning admiration for her versatility and natural stage presence. As an actress, singer, and dancer, she brought energy and authenticity to every performance, making her a familiar and beloved figure in British entertainment for over 6 decades. Many audiences came to know her best as Nana McQueen in Hollyoaks, a role she played from 2007 to 2024, where she delivered a warm, witty, and heartfelt performance that resonated with viewers. She also appeared in well-known series such as Only Fools and Horses and EastEnders, showing her ability to adapt across different styles of storytelling. On stage, Langton found equal success in London's West End, performing in productions like Hair and Chicago, where her charisma and dedication to live performance truly shone. Her career reflected consistency, passion, and a genuine love for entertaining, leaving behind a legacy of memorable roles and lasting contributions to British stage and screen. Diane Lane has long been admired as one of Hollywood's most graceful and enduring actresses. To audiences around the world, she appeared to have everything a performer could dream of: beauty, talent, critical acclaim, and a career that lasted for decades. Yet behind the polished public image was a woman who faced difficult family struggles, personal heartbreak, professional disappointments, and the constant pressure of growing up in the entertainment industry. From a childhood shaped by instability to relationships that tested her emotionally, Lane's life has been filled with moments of uncertainty as well as strength. What makes her story remarkable is not simply her success on screen, but the quiet resilience she carried through every stage of her journey. Rather than allowing hardship to define her, she continued moving forward with dignity and determination. Over time, she became more than a movie star. She became an example of endurance, self-awareness, and emotional growth in an industry often known for breaking even the strongest personalities. Growing up around creative chaos. Diane Lane was born in New York City on January 22, 1965, into a family deeply connected to the arts. Her mother worked in entertainment as a singer and actress, while her father was involved in theater and acting instruction. Their marriage ended shortly after Diane's birth, leaving her father to raise her during much of her childhood. Life was far from traditional. Instead of growing up in a quiet suburban home, Diane spent time moving between hotels, theater spaces, and the busy streets of Manhattan. Even at a young age, she was exposed to artistic personalities, rehearsals, performances, and the unpredictable rhythms of creative life. Though unconventional, this environment helped shape her imagination and confidence. Her father believed strongly in her abilities and encouraged her interest in acting early on. At the same time, the instability surrounding her upbringing left emotional marks that would stay with her for years. While many children experienced routines and structure, Diane learned to adapt quickly, observe carefully, and mature faster than most kids her age. Those early experiences eventually became the foundation of the emotional depth audiences would later see in her performances. Entering theater before understanding fame. Diane Lane stepped onto the stage before she fully understood what acting even meant. At only 6 years old, she joined the La Mama Experimental Theater Club in New York, where she performed in productions that were often far more complex than anything expected from a child performer. Surrounded by adults discussing art, politics, and storytelling, she absorbed the atmosphere naturally. The theater world became her classroom, introducing her to discipline, creativity, and emotional expression at an age when most children were focused on school games and cartoons. She performed in challenging productions that demanded focus and maturity well beyond her years. Although she later admitted that she did not entirely grasp the meaning behind some of the performances, the experience taught her how to adapt and remain fearless in unfamiliar situations. Traveling with theater groups also exposed her to different cultures and artistic styles. Those years helped develop her curiosity and independence, but they also blurred the line between childhood and adulthood. Acting quickly became more than a hobby. It turned into the center of her world, setting her on a path that would shape the rest of her life. Early fame changed everything around her. By the time Diane Lane reached her early teens, Hollywood had already started paying attention. Directors recognized a rare combination of intelligence, beauty, and emotional presence that made her stand out from other young actors. Her breakout role in A Little Romance introduced her to a wider audience and earned praise from respected industry figures. Legendary actor Laurence Olivier reportedly admired her talent, and major magazines began presenting her as one of Hollywood's brightest young stars. While many teenagers might have become overwhelmed by sudden fame, Diane viewed it with surprising realism. She understood early that the entertainment industry often relied on timing, publicity, and powerful connections as much as talent. Being placed on magazine covers and praised by critics did not necessarily make life easier. Instead, fame added pressure and expectations that followed her everywhere. School became difficult to balance with acting commitments, and she occasionally wished for a more ordinary teenage experience. Yet the spotlight continued growing brighter around her. The attention opened doors professionally, but it also removed the sense of normalcy many young people take for granted during their formative years. Difficult times inside a public marriage. Although Diane Lane and Josh Brolin shared genuine affection, their marriage faced serious difficulties almost from the beginning. Early in their relationship, a domestic incident involving police attention became public knowledge, creating immediate controversy and emotional strain. Both later attempted to move beyond the situation privately, describing it as a misunderstanding and continuing their marriage together. Over the years, however, additional challenges emerged. Brolin struggled publicly with alcohol-related behavior and legal troubles that repeatedly generated headlines. Diane largely avoided speaking negatively about him in public, maintaining her characteristic discretion and dignity. Behind the scenes, the emotional weight of maintaining a relationship under constant scrutiny became increasingly exhausting. Parenting within a blended family also brought natural tensions and responsibilities. Despite these difficulties, Diane tried to focus on stability, emotional balance, and protecting the people she loved. Eventually, after nearly a decade together, the couple separated and finalized their divorce in 2013. While painful, the ending reflected a mutual recognition that the relationship could no longer continue healthily. Diane handled the separation quietly and respectfully, choosing healing and personal growth over public drama or bitterness, finding strength through personal independence. Following her divorce from Josh Brolin, Diane Lane entered a period of self-reflection and emotional rebuilding. Rather than rushing into another relationship or seeking public sympathy, she embraced independence with surprising peace. She traveled alone, spent time reconnecting with herself, and gradually learned to appreciate solitude instead of fearing it. Diane openly acknowledged that romantic relationships had often been emotionally challenging for her throughout life. Love brought joy, but it also sometimes caused confusion, imbalance, and emotional exhaustion. As she entered her 50s, she became increasingly comfortable prioritizing her own well-being without apology. This stage of life allowed her to develop greater confidence in her identity beyond marriage or public image. She spoke thoughtfully about aging, rejecting the pressure to remain permanently youthful or fit unrealistic expectations placed on women in Hollywood. Instead of viewing middle age negatively, Diane approached it as a period of clarity and emotional freedom. Her willingness to speak honestly about vulnerability, insecurity, and growth resonated deeply with audiences. She demonstrated that personal fulfillment does not depend entirely on romance or external validation, but can also come from self-acceptance and inner peace. Overcoming lifelong personal insecurities. Despite being widely admired for her beauty and elegance, Diane Lane has spoken openly about struggling with insecurities throughout her life. Even as a child, she encountered criticism about her appearance that left lasting emotional impressions. Like many women working in entertainment, she grew up surrounded by unrealistic beauty standards and constant comparisons. Over time, she realized how damaging these pressures could become, especially for young girls trying to develop healthy self-esteem. Rather than pretending confidence came naturally, Diane admitted that self-acceptance required effort and maturity. She recognized that everyone experiences moments of self-doubt regardless of fame or appearance. Some days she felt comfortable and confident, while other days insecurities returned unexpectedly. Instead of hiding these feelings, she approached them with honesty and perspective. Diane also became increasingly critical of industries that profit from making women feel inadequate. She believed society often discouraged women from expressing confidence freely without facing judgment. Her reflections on beauty, aging, and emotional vulnerability helped many people relate to her beyond the screen. By discussing insecurity openly, Diane transformed personal struggles into a message of compassion and realism. Hollywood finally began changing slowly. As Diane Lane grew older, Hollywood gradually started offering more substantial roles for women beyond traditional stereotypes. Earlier in her career, she often encountered scripts that reduced female characters to shallow romantic interests or decorative figures. Over time, however, audiences and creators began demanding richer storytelling that reflected real emotional complexity. Diane welcomed this shift, though she understood it arrived far too slowly for many talented actresses. She knew she had always possessed the range to portray layered characters, but meaningful opportunities had not always existed. Eventually, television and streaming platforms especially began creating space for mature female performers to shine in more nuanced roles. Diane approached these new opportunities with gratitude rather than resentment. She remained focused on artistic growth instead of dwelling endlessly on past frustrations. Her later career performances revealed the emotional depth that had always existed beneath Hollywood's glamorous surface. Audiences discovered an actress capable of portraying wisdom, heartbreak, resilience, and vulnerability with remarkable authenticity. The changing landscape of entertainment finally allowed Diane Lane to explore dimensions of storytelling that better matched her emotional intelligence and life experience, proving that age can deepen artistic power rather than diminish it. Bringing personal experience into performances. One reason Diane Lane's performances often feel emotionally authentic is because she draws carefully from her own life experiences. Difficult childhood memories, family struggles, heartbreak, and personal growth all contributed to her understanding of human vulnerability. Rather than separating herself entirely from her characters, she used emotional truth to create believable performances. This approach became especially powerful in later projects involving emotionally wounded or resilient women. Diane understood loneliness, uncertainty, and the desire for connection not as abstract ideas, but as real experiences she had personally faced. Her empathy allowed her to portray complicated characters with subtlety instead of exaggeration. She rarely relied on dramatic theatrics. Instead, she communicated emotion through quiet expressions, body language, and emotional restraint. Audiences connected deeply with this naturalistic style because it felt sincere rather than manufactured. Even when playing glamorous or wealthy characters, Diane found ways to reveal their hidden fears and emotional scars. Her acting became stronger with age precisely because life itself gave her more emotional understanding to draw from. This emotional honesty remains one of the defining strengths that separates Diane Lane from many performers of her generation. Returning to television with powerful roles. In recent years, Diane Lane successfully expanded her career through acclaimed television projects that introduced her to newer generations of viewers. Series such as Feud, Capote vs. The Swans allowed her to portray sophisticated women shaped by complicated emotional histories and social pressures. Playing Slim Keith gave Diane the chance to explore themes of resilience, independence, and emotional survival within elite social circles. The role resonated with her personally because she understood what it meant to navigate relationships, public expectations, and personal reinvention. Working alongside an accomplished ensemble, cast also reminded audiences of her remarkable screen presence and emotional subtlety. Critics praised her performance, and the series earned significant awards recognition. Diane's transition into modern television reflected the changing entertainment landscape where long-form storytelling often allows actors to explore deeper emotional territory than traditional films. Rather than fading quietly with age, she continued evolving creatively and professionally. Her later career success demonstrated that talent and emotional intelligence remain valuable regardless of Hollywood trends. Diane proved that reinvention is possible at every stage of life when an artist remains curious, adaptable, and emotionally honest in their work, maintaining grace through decades of fame. Few performers managed to remain respected across multiple decades in Hollywood, yet Diane Lane achieved this rare balance through consistency, humility, and emotional intelligence. While some stars became consumed by fame, controversy, or ego, Diane maintained a calmer relationship with celebrity culture. She rarely sought attention aggressively and avoided turning her personal life into constant public spectacle. Even during difficult moments involving divorce, heartbreak, or professional setbacks, she handled herself with quiet dignity. Audiences admired not only her talent, but also the authenticity she projected off screen. Diane understood that careers naturally rise and fall over time, and she never seemed desperate to control public perception completely. This maturity allowed her to age gracefully in an industry often obsessed with youth and reinvention. Rather than trying to compete with younger stars, she embraced the wisdom and emotional depth that came with experience. Her enduring appeal comes from more than physical beauty. It comes from emotional honesty, resilience, and the ability to remain human in a world that often rewards artificiality. Over 4 decades, Diane Lane built a legacy defined not by scandal or excess, but by quiet strength and lasting artistic integrity. The enduring legacy. of Diane Lane. Diane Lane's story is far more complex than the glamorous image many people first associate with her. Beneath the beauty and fame exists a woman who survived difficult childhood experiences, navigated painful relationships, endured professional uncertainty, and continuously rebuilt herself with grace. Her life demonstrates that success does not erase emotional struggle, nor does public admiration guarantee personal happiness. Yet what makes Diane remarkable is her refusal to become hardened or cynical despite everything she experienced. She continued seeking growth, authenticity, and emotional understanding throughout every stage of her life. As an actress, she delivered performances filled with intelligence and vulnerability that resonated deeply with audiences across generations. As a person, she showed resilience without needing constant attention or praise. Her journey reflects the reality that true strength is often quiet rather than dramatic. Diane Lane may be remembered as a Hollywood star, but her lasting legacy reaches beyond fame. She represents endurance, self-awareness, and the courage to keep moving forward even after disappointment. In an industry built on illusion, her humanity remains the quality audiences continue to admire most.